Hello everyone, how is all doing? As you know about the school transport, I've been on about this for the last 2 years. Obviously, last year wasn't it? I paid for a ticket, and obviously I was in the same boat. Really, I paid for a ticket. Bus Island was being ignorant. Bus Island is the worst crowd to walk to try and talk to, and they were ignoring TDs. Even the TDs I set councillors to refuse to talk to members of local Italian government. They wouldn't talk to them, and they wouldn't talk. They were very ignorant to the public, let alone to the TDs and all that. So it's fair to say not the best crowd to be walking with or to talk to, or to try and get something sorted. So in other words, what I'm trying to say here is, I seen this coming a mile away that it absolutely just be an absolute shit show, which it is at the moment. There's people not getting on buses. There's some buses that had five people. There's five people on some buses, and the West Carrier didn't get a ticket. And the one didn't get a ticket from Bus Aaron, and there's five on one bus down the country, and there's 30 something that don't have a ticket. And even though there's loads of seats, like it just doesn't make any. Bus Aaron's just they're not with it, and this is the best part. Like they had all summer, and all of a sudden now they realise it's not working out for them. So yeah, again, no more Foley plan in a nutshell. She doesn't give a shit. Obviously, I do welcome the government did flip the bill for a good few families to send their children to school, and obviously that's very welcome. I'm sure you're going with 650 for a year. That's only for one student. Now, if you had two students, think about that. That's 1,200. That's a lot of money for a year. For 1 year now. Think about that. That's a good chunk of money. You think about that. Think of all the things you could buy for 1,200. If you had two children, or if you had one child, think about if you had 650, how much you could buy in it. Well, not nowadays, obviously, with inflation and things. But it's insane. It actually is insane that nobody's foreseen this coming. Everybody's foreseen it coming, but apart from Norman Foley and the government, they didn't apparently know this. And obviously RT, and I have to say this straight, they're too busy worrying about 100 Ukrainians that couldn't get a school bus to the school. Now, let's be fair now, RT were more prioritising that. Even though, again, everybody should have a school place, of course. But, prioritising 100, there's thousands. Like in County Cavan alone, there's about 4,000 or 5,000 maybe. I'm probably being generous there. But let's put it this way, there's a lot of children without a bus. It probably is nearly 1,000, it's probably nearly 2,000 in Cavan. There's a lot of children that don't have a place in the bus this year, and some of them will not probably be able to go to school if something's not sorted. As you know yourself, last year we had to pay nearly over €600 for me to go in and out in taxis. So, actually it probably was a bit more. I think it was around 700 actually. It was near 700. It was a good chunk of money now. And that was only for a few months. That was only for 2 months when I went back. And obviously then the lockdown happened in January that year, and I keep getting mixed up, but when the lockdown happened in December, and then we didn't go back into March. But yeah, again, it's not fair on the parents. Again, some parents probably will have to pay for a taxi. And some parents probably have to, and again, it's a lot of pressure on parents alone having to pay for the fuel, let alone driving kids to school. And again, especially when they're paid, like some people have paid for tickets, Bus Aaron have taken the money, and there's basically no word. It's just basically, I don't know how they didn't see it coming. Let's be fair, because I could have told them that last year that this will happen again, and it's only going to get worse. But yeah, it's Norma Foley's to blame, and it's that cut Damon Ryan now. That's I don't know. Like, he's honestly not in this world. He's just literally not with it. He's not with it. Whatever. Like whatever about Norma Foley, she just doesn't give a shit about anybody. So that's understandable. We all knew Norman Foley couldn't give a shit anyway. But Eamon Ryan is just not with it at all. He's in a different planet. So it's honestly a joke. And again, no offense to anybody, but it's a joke. It really is a joke. And especially RT. You think RT be saying thousands of people left without a school place, but no, a few people come from other country. It's an RT's front page. Even though again everybody has a right to education, I'm not saying that everybody has a right. Let's be fair to education. Many countries in the world, obviously, some people don't have the right to an education, which we should be grateful for. Obviously, we take it for granted. I would say that, But it's the fact that everybody should be equal. Everybody should be equal. It should not be one person, no one country, one nation prioritised or whatever. Everybody should just be prioritised. All children are equal in the Irish Constitution. That's what it says. But yeah, it's just a mess.